Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Wind, I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me 2, The Demon War. So far we've seen two of Matthew's paths, and today we're hopefully going to wrap up his trifecta and see what his third ending is. So let us get into it, shall we? We are going to pick the blue orb again, because that's Matthew's color.
Hold on
Hi,
there.
Kay.
Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now.
I don't know. I like getting lost personally. Well, not always. As someone that routinely gets lost, yeah. Sometimes you find really neat stuff. Sometimes you just end up calling someone saying, "Come get me."
First of all, have you read the first story?
Yes.
Oh, you do know this is
Yes.
Oh, awesome. All right. Anyway.
Don't care. Yeah,
All right then. I think that should be everything.
ID.
Oh,
It's fine. I
thanks.
do not.
Yeah, I
Has
should
gone on for long enough.
agree.
I will not let them trap me in a corner like this.
I don't know. Might be a nice corner. Okay, what I forgot to say in my opening spiel. As this is my third run through Matthew's path, I will be using the skip button now. If you're interested in seeing what the dialogue I'm skipping over is, please feel free to go back to the start of Matthew's run and watch all of it. I could use the views. Meanwhile, I only have so much time to record during the week, so it is much more convenient for me to be able to skip dialogue versus having to come up with completely new content. My name in this verse is Tritch. Awesome. Alright, the voices we hear. I'm gonna shake it off this time, because it's probably nothing. Right, hearing voices is totes normal. And it's time for bed, and good night, sweetie. I'm asleep. And we're skipping, and nightmare, and calls, and gosh darn it, our delinquent son. Well, guess we're off to the bathroom. For some reason. For some reason, all paths in this Let's Play lead to the bathroom. I mean, I gotta admit, it's a very nice bathroom. This seriously must have cost them some money to build. And we're back to skipping. And I'm just gonna close my eyes, because this, whatever it is I'm hallucinating, can't be real. And we're skipping, and Demon World, and you know what? I'm pissed. I'm going to attack. Hiya. My mind couldn't help it. There was the woman who had haunted me and forcibly taken my energy before departing from my life. She was defenseless. This might be where my character dies. We'll see. I jumped up, lifting the hem of my dress with one hand to move swiftly before grabbing Diana's throat and tackling her up against the table behind her. Wow, I am being a little firecracker in this verse. Go me.
Isaiah!
Zaire, you say? Thank you for telling me her name. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Why, you little...
Dude, I am not afraid of you.
Stay back.
Despite me crushing Diana's neck, she held her hands out, stopping the beings around us from interfering. I didn't care. I only wanted to hurt her. Agreed. Look at me in my little berserker rage. I wasn't supposed to be here. Very true. She had to be the reason I was pulled to this place against my will. That's a leap in logic. She had done damage to me before. She could do it again. Okay, that's a bit more justifiable logic. What did she want with me? Well, she never wanted anything with you. She wanted the boys. You were just an obstacle to her getting the boys. Why am I here, Diana? Why did you bring me here? Why did you take me away from my wedding?
I didn't bring you here.
Ah. Fair enough. Liar! You You are the only one who could have done this to me. No. Why can't you leave me alone? Are you so angry that he picked me over you that you'd kidnap me on my wedding day?
Just listen!
Don't wanna. All of a sudden, my mind went blank and my grip around Diana's throat relaxed, releasing her. I felt myself step back away from Diana as she stood up and curled over her body, coughing and gasping for air. I couldn't move my body. Oh, the rhythm didn't get me? What was happening? I watched, unable to do anything, as Diana snapped her fingers towards one of the beings in the room, the one who had called her Azair. Obediently, he rushed over to her and gently wrapped an arm around her shoulders, helping her up on her feet and standing her up straight. Diana looked up at him and brought him closer to her with her hand without him fighting back. As he got close to her, she locked lips with him. Aww. Yay? And both of them closed their eyes. She was taking his energy? Yeah. Oh, was she taking his energy? Yeah, that line's quite different. I couldn't exactly move, so all I could do was stare. After a short moment, Diana pulled away from the man, the person who was holding her back away as well, bowing his head to her. Diana then looked to me with almost a stone-cold glare. She rubbed her neck.
I didn't bring you here.
Ah.
The demon lord, the boy's father,
Ah.
tried bringing you to his castle, and my servant interrupted the summoning, bringing you to me instead. You should be thankful that you're not dead right now.
Okay, valid point. I will send you an I'm sorry card. I didn't want to believe her. Why? Diana does many things, but she's not a liar. Why would she care about me? Valid question after we, nearly choked her. She could kill me now and take the boys for herself, just like she wanted before. Diana stared at me and sighed before snapping her fingers and releasing me from her spell. I staggered on my legs, now feeling control over my body. But before I could attack her again, Diana held her arms out to her sides.
You may attack me again if you wish. However, I promise that hurting or killing me will not take you back to where you came from.
Valid point. I eyed Diana, not knowing anymore if she was lying to manipulate me or actually telling the truth. There was no way to know with her. If she really didn't bring me here, then she was still responsible for keeping me. Send me back.
Are you calm?
No, but I have wedding?
Why are you even bothering with her, Succubus? She's a human.
Dude, shut up.
Shh! Let them figure it out.
Thank you.
Indeed. The faster this gets settled, the faster we can get back to our council.
Exactly. I kept my eyes on Diana, not wanting to trust her, but having her to anyway. This was beyond wrong, but I had to go along with it in order to get back. I nodded to Diana, and she sighed softly in relief. And now we're back to the skip button. Yay! That was an interesting little interlude. And blah blah blah, new people, try and fail. Fine, okay. Into the hall we go. Or skip. Diana's come to see me in my room.
Did you have a good rest?
Valid question. Did I have a good rest? Sure.
A good rest is always important, especially to humans.
Yeah, it is. I like resting. Okay, bye-bye. Skip, skip, skip. And left to my own devices, even though I'm in a castle where there might be people that, want to kill me just cause, I'm gonna go explore by myself, because clearly that is the only way this ends well, right? And skip, skip, skip. And I'm gonna go left, finally. I went with left, I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the left corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a bit small in the hall. Wait, am I a kid in the hall? That was an incredibly dated reference, I'm sorry. It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress. It almost felt dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, and random curtains and flowers. It was mystical to see, and I smiled. And it would be nice if we could see any of it instead of, a black screen. As I approached another fork in the hall, however, I sighed. Really? How does anyone find their way around? Very carefully. I looked back. Knowing that I hadn't walked far from my room, I could turn back. I mean, I could do that, or, yet, I'ma go right this time. I was headed left, so I decided to go the opposite direction this time. I'm not gonna get lost at all. They're gonna find me 2 years from now still wandering around, aren't they? I turned right and headed down the hall, greeted by more fantastical decor. And again, it would be super nice if we could see this. The hall became longer and longer. That's what she said, as I continued to walk. However, I suddenly stopped at the sound of a shout.
Beware my evil reign and bow to your new overlord!
What now? What the? I turned towards the shout was erupting from and saw the door ajar. As I peeked into the room the door led into, I stared at what I saw. A floating creature was standing over top of the table that held a map and miniature pieces, as if someone had set up a strategy board game. Well, I think that's where Risk actually comes from, is, setting up strategies for actual wars. The creature was planted on top of a red marker, as if the marker was their mount.
I will rule the entire world, and no one can stop me, because I am the Demon Lord!
None of your sons look anything like you. As it switched to a different personality, the creature quickly jumped and floated over the purple marker, striking an exaggeratedly sexy pose. And again, I want to see this.
Oh no! I will stop you with my massive boobies and butt powers!
Agreed.
I will rule this world, not you! And everyone will love me!
Agreed. I did not know she had butt powers, though. Huh. I watched as the creature bounced back and forth between pretending to be the Demon Lord and Diana, lost and intrigued as to how small and quick they were.
Your boobies cannot scare me, for I have a penis, and penises ward off fear!
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but okay.
You may have a penis, but I have an army that practically worships my overly curvy and ridiculously perfect body.
Does Diana know this is what you do when she's not around? I stifled a laugh. This was actually rather amusing to watch. It actually is, seeing the creature imitate the Demon Lord and their own leader.
Then come here, and I will show you the true power of a Demon Lord.
Ew.
Soldiers, attack!
I stared as the music got super loud. I stared as the creature suddenly formed multiple little miniature soldiers on the opposite side of the table, using magic to make them clash and smack against each other, as if an invisible child was playing with them. There was even more small squeak! Stuffed animals and glass figurines, smacking and crashing together. It was a chaotic little show.
Oh no! We're being overrun!
Are we? Are we really?
Not hold back! We'll beat him!
Boo.
Ah! The pain! Why? I see it! I see the light! Ah!
You have an interesting little fantasy world, don't you? I couldn't stop the laughter from erupting from my stomach. I began to gawk, amused by the little show I was witnessing. Hey! How you doing? You're very entertaining? The creature, in surprise, poofed into a cloud of smoke before appearing and falling back over the side of the table in its regular size. Oh, okay, it shrunk itself down. Or at least what I assumed to be the regular size. Whoa, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yep, I'm okay.
Cools. The creature managed to hop up and started floating again behind the table, giving me a thumbs up as if nothing was wrong. Their clothes were a bit disheveled, but they gave me a toothy grin.
Hiya!
Hey there! I shouldn't be here, should I? Hi, sorry for disturbing your,
Huh? Oh, my game! It's okay. I was just getting to the good part.
Yes, you were indeed. The good part? I mean, it's not Diana's massive boobies or butt powers? The creature nodded before leaning over the table and rearranging all the figurines that still remained on it.
Yeah, when Diana kills the Demon Lord and takes over the world.
Woo! Good. Go butt powers. Oh, yeah, I feel that's the only valid answer to give. The way they put it made it seem like Diana was going to be an overlord. Was she really trying to take over the world? Could be. The creature looked at me and chuckled.
Oh, you don't know what's happening, huh?
Nope.
Well, we're all fighting the Demon Lord, and by we, I mean me and Diana and the others. But anyway, we're fighting the Demon Lord because he's a tyrant and we don't like tyrants. So we're gonna kill him and take over.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. They made it seem so simple. And so joyous. And psychotic. You guys are really gonna kill him and take over? Yeah, they just said so.
Huh? Duh! The Demon Lord is completely crazy! He's burned down so many villages and destroyed so many forests! He's only causing us harm! That's why we have to stop him!
Fair enough. The creature then put the purple marker next to the red marker, glaring at both.
We have to kill him before he hurts anyone else!
Agreed. With a flick of their wrist, they used the purple marker and knocked over the red one over violently, making it skid across the table towards the edge. Just from the look on their face, they seemed peeved about the Demon Lord. I would be too. Hell, I already was. Agreed. You all will win. The creature looked up at me before letting go of the marker and placing their hands behind their head with a grin. Yep, that sure is their hands behind their head. Directly in front of their, torso.
You think so?
I know so. I nodded with reassuring smile. They seemed confident enough to battle the Demon Lord, and if it was for the best, then it had to be done. The creature nodded back to me before yawning.
So, you're gonna marry a demon, huh?
That's the plan. What? I stared at them, unsure of where the change in topic came from. The creature laughed a bit.
Don't tell me you forgot.
Well, I mean, it is possible. Magic exists. Oh, no, it's not that. It's just, where did this come from?
Well, you are heading home tonight. This is my only chance to ask why.
Ah, okay, fair enough. 'Cause I love him. Why?
Yeah, why a demon?
'Cause he's nice?
Why not another human?
'Cause he's hot?
I'm not against demons and humans getting together or whatever, but I was just curious, you know? There
Fair
are
enough.
billions of humans on your world. Why a demon?
'Cause Matthew is my special snuggle button cinnamon bun. It took a moment to think about the demon in question, whom I was marrying. His face made me smile, and the thought of being able to be with him again made my heart warm up in excitement. His presence remained in my heart, and I knew my answer. Because I love him. Aww, surprised face is awesome.
You love him?
I know, right? Yeah, I do. The creature stared at me as if I had 3 heads. Still pretty sure I only have the one. Was what I said wrong? No, it couldn't have been because it was true, and yet the creature continued to stare at me oddly. What?
Huh? Oh, nothing. It's just weird.
Really? I don't know, seems kind of normal to me. What's weird?
Love. It's just weird, okay? But if it works for you, that works, I guess. It's not like I'm the one getting married.
Exactly, little androgynous fairy. I stared at the creature, unsure of what they meant. However, before I could question them, they yawned and stretched out.
Alright, I'm gonna steal some snacks.
Ooh.
You should head back to your room or whatever so
Aw.
that Diana doesn't catch you snooping around.
But I want to steal
She doesn't like
snacks.
snooping. Or was it swooping?
Because swooping, as we know, is bad. The creature shrugged as I nodded. It was probably for the best that I returned to my room. I knew my way back, so I left the room and returned to my room. I remained in my room. Gosh darn it, pick another word. Until the night came. I was given food and the skip button. Yay! I'ma eat it anyway. Nom nom. Because food's delicious, and I actually really do like stew. Skip, 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 skip to my loo, skip, skip, skip. Everyone's here. And Matthew! And skip, skip, skip some more. My apologies. Okay, I'm gonna go with the curse in this verse. Yay. And skip some more. That's not fair, Diana. And I'm not just fighting you because I can fight you. And we've seen this before. Skip, 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 skip. And I'm gonna tell him what's wrong, cause fuck, this has been a weird day. And we've seen this before. Skip, skip, skip. It says talking. It's a bad dream. And what if I promise not to run away, Nightmare Matthew? And we've seen this. Skip, skip, skip. Wake up. No, I don't want hugs from you, small man. It's alright. And we've seen this. Skip, skip some more. It's morning. I'm not going to ask about it. I'm going to respect your boundaries. And we're going to skip some more. And it's time to pick a trainer. What would the others teach me? Which we've seen, and now I get to pick who do I want as teacher. You know what? We had such a good time watching Faye last night. I want to hang out with Faye. Because maybe they will teach me how to steal snacks from the castle, which I am down for. Diana raised an eyebrow, but nodded. Faye was a wild card, so who knew what they would teach me. Still, My curiosity was getting the better of me, and I knew it. I'd try it. And with that, skip button's returned. Yay! Skip, 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 and we're off to training hall, and ew! I hear shenanigans music. I reported to a large, grand hall. Apparently, it was strictly to be used for Serio and Diana, but since training me for defense became a priority, I was given the room, along with my trainer of choice, Faye. I didn't know what made me choose Faye. I clicked the button that said Faye. They were indeed a wildcard choice. Who knew what I would learn from them? And didn't I literally just say this less than 5 minutes ago? They were obviously a fairy. Gosh darn it, Tinkerbell. But what kind of abilities did fairies have in this world? True. I could tell that they were nothing like the fairies in fantasy fairy tales. It depends on what fantasy fairy tales you're reading. So the idea of learning about them became a tantalizing curiosity within me. As I arrived, I saw Faye flitter about the room, wowed at the space they were given to train me.
Whoa! This room is so huge! How the heck did we get this room?
I'm special?
Castle even have this room? Holy crap!
It's a castle. The fact that there's not more rooms like it's actually kind of what's weird. I giggled and stepped in, watching as the fairy flew to and fro, from one side of the room to the other in excitement. Hopefully they wouldn't be too distracted by the size of the room to train me. Hey, Faye. How was snack hunting last night? Faye at last turned to me with a large grin and flew close to me, placing their hands behind their back.
Hiya! You ready
Hey.
to learn some cool tricks from a cool demon like me?
So you are a demon. You're not just a fairy. Just making sure I understand. I smiled. I had picked a good trainer. Nodding, I pressed my hands to my hips. Absolutely, I'm ready. Thumbs up. Woo, let's go. Faye grinned before floating over to the far end of the room, cupping their hands together and calling out to me.
Come over here!
Okay. This is not the training I thought I'd get. I tilted my head, confused a bit, but shrugged and ran forward, eventually stopping at Faye's side. They clapped in applause. With made me? I think they mean which made me. A bit more confused, but I bowed to them, amused.
Alrighty! Now, race it to the other side!
Okay. Wait, what? Before I could question Faye, they reeled back and zipped across the room towards the far wall. I rushed behind, trying to catch up, but didn't make it in time to beat the Faye from touching the wall.
I win!
You sure do. Because you didn't warn me this was going to be a race. Faye looked at me confused before rubbing their head.
But this is training! Aren't I supposed to teach you how to be fast and dodgy and stuff?
Fair enough. I suddenly realized what I had gotten myself into. Faye had no idea what they were doing. I have picked poorly. Hello? Who are you? A figure who was standing in the corner, watching the whole event, stepped out of the shadow, slightly surprising me as he walked up to Faye.
Boss, I think you should be teaching the human how to defend itself. Just saying.
Why do you have that accent? Faye turned around and flailed their arms at the figure.
Terminus! Don't tell me what to do! I can do this!
Sure you can. Also, nice to meet you, Terminus. Terminus let out a snort with an amused smirk, crossing his arms at his apparent boss, and shrugged.
Alright, whatever you say. I was just making a
Faye puffed out their cheeks as a terminus before turning back to me. I became concerned. Would I be able to learn anything from Faye other than racing? Stay and try, get out of Dodge. Well, if it were me, I would go find someone else, but you know, let's stay and try. I took a moment to take a deep breath and let it out. Who knew what Faye had in store? Or fate. Maybe they'd teach me how to grow wings or become small. Their abilities could be pretty useful, especially the wings. Aw, I don't know. I just feel like the wings would get in the way and get caught or be insta-targets. Faye pressed a finger to their chin before suddenly getting an idea.
I know! I can teach you a really cool attack!
Okay. Thank you! I suddenly became excited. An attack. I knew the training was meant for my self-defense. That is a really awkward way to write that. But having an offensive attack would prove to be very useful if the war I was essentially about to jump into. They grinned at me before turning to the open space and holding their hands out, closing their eyes and focusing their energy. I watched as a green orb slowly appeared before their palms, growing in size until it became the size of a baseball. Faye opened their eyes and gripped it with both hands, looking at me with a grin.
This is called the thorn bush.
Uh-huh. Okay. A thorn bush? Faye nodded ecstatically before arcing their hand back behind their head and chucking the orb forward into the space. As it impacted the ground, the orb popped like a bubble and released a cloud of green gas that covered a large portion of the floor. The gas quickly began to materialize into the web of thorny branches, stretching out over the floor and stopping just before where Faye and I stood. The branches continued to sway in the air as if they were alive. Well, they might be. Whoa. I want to do that. I was absolutely astonished. This seemed like a really cool trap. But was it effective? I don't know, depends on your typing. I'm going to assume that it's called Thornbush. It's going to be grass attack, so against a fire type I wouldn't pull it, but... Anyway. I turned my gaze to Faye to see them look to a terminus with a smug expression.
Hey, Eternimus! Try and walk through it.
Hey, don't punish this poor man. With an amused grin and a roll of his eyes, Eternimus summoned his spear and walked forward into the area where the bush had made claim. I watched in curiosity, wondering what the thorn bush would do. It's going to start singing It's Not Easy Being Green. I gasped as the branches closest to Eternimus began to lash out and strike at him, only to be blocked and cut down by a spear. With a concentrated expression, Eternimus began to cut through the bush, driving it back slowly but surely. Well, I understood that he knew about how it would affect Faye's trap, and it was an interesting spell nonetheless. If anything, I was able to slow down enemies, and attack them as I went on. A good distraction. As Eternimus reached the center, he rammed his spear into the spot where the bush sprouted from, causing the branches around him to wither and die, fading into the air like they were never there. Aww. Wow, that was pretty cool. Interesting. I'm gonna guess Faye wants to hear pretty cool. I had to admit, it looked really cool even to the end. It was very effective, and I was going to learn it. Go me. Woo! What's class capability mean? Faye turned and smiled at me, bobbing a bit in the air in excitement.
Isn't it? It's one of my favorite trap spells. What's even cooler is that if you throw it at a person, they'll be covered in thorns and won't be able to fight back.
Interesting. Go on. That was the game changer. I stared at Faye, shocked. It really could do stuff like that? Then again, there wasn't really a good way to test it, because none of us wanted to be on the receiving end of that spell, and there was no training dummies in the room. I'm pretty sure we can get one in here. I had to take their word for it. Or we go to a training dummy. Faye grinned before crossing their legs and sitting on the air, pondering.
What else to show you?
How about we start with me learning that? Edernus looked over and shook his head, walking back to his corner.
Make the human try what you just did first before showing us something new.
Thank you, Edernus. You are the voice of reason.
All right.
Faye looked over at me and waved their hands out into the room, gesturing me to do what they did. It was mildly adorable to see them do that, but I shook my thoughts out and focused on trying to replicate what Faye did. I looked to my hands, trying to focus on forming the green orb in my hands. I began to imagine it, hoping it would spark my energy to perform the spell, but I found that imagination wouldn't work, or at least wasn't enough. Oh, but I want to learn the cool tangle trick. I glared at the back of my hands, trying to figure it out. Faye floated beside me and looked at my hands as well, tapping their chin.
Maybe if you squint really hard or something.
Faye. I turned my head to Faye, not wanting to be a bad student, but needing the teacher to actually teach me. Yeah, that usually helps. Faye floated back a bit, placing their hands in front of them by their chest.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's like,
Edernus, can you explain this, please? Like what?
Well, I mean, you're a human, and I don't exactly know if you have magic and stuff, like,
Fair enough. Faye wiggled their arms besides them, flailing a bit before flying around me and scratching their head.
like, brute demons have, like, rage energy to battle, and then Diana has her ooh-la-la kind of sexual energy or whatever to power her powers. But for me, it just comes naturally, you know? I just think about it and poof, it happens! But I'm a demon, so it's supposed to happen.
Fair enough. And on that disappointing note, I need to bring the session to a close. Until next, Tak the Katilak Hiddo.